When most people think of the landscape of this country, they think of Lord of the Rings and the majestic mountains of the South Island. But for me, it's this place. Only half an hour from the biggest city in the country, you enter a new world of giant cliffs and swirling oceans. Some of my very first no-budget music videos were filmed on these beaches, and it's somewhere I always make a point of visiting every time I'm here. I saw the sunset last night and it was absolutely stunning. So hoping tonight we can get something similar. We've got about 2 hours to kill until sunset. I've brought Portra 800 with me. I think I'm going to overexpose one stop for now, but I might also try shooting at box or even under later just to get something a little gnarlier. I've been down here many times and the walk itself is pretty easy, but the views along the way are just some of the best you'll ever see. I've had these Leica R lenses for a long time now, and I use them for video all the time. But if I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be this 19mm. The one I have is the first version of the lens, which has some very interesting characteristics. For example, even when you're stopped down slightly, the edges never get fully sharp, and the lens flares are always dramatic. Those are the kind of imperfections I seek out, to try and move away from a perfect digital reproduction. In Maori culture, the land is deeply important. The word whenua refers not just to the land and landscape, but also relates to birth, ancestry, and how the people are connected to the land. When this lookout was built in the 70s, an archaeological dig was carried out, which uncovered a rich history of the pa that used to be here in the 15th century. It's really hard to believe that people used to live right here, hanging 175 meters above the sea. But there were 5 terraces, and they mostly lived off fish and shellfish. Why this spot was chosen is unknown. It may have been to protect from human threats, or maybe for fear of tsunami. Or my theory is they could have just enjoyed the view. One thing about Auckland is that you're pretty much always at the mercy of the clouds. Especially out here on the west coast, they move fast, and it can change from golden sunlight to dramatic shadows in an instant. Patience is key, and I always need to remind myself to wait, instead of just moving on to another angle if it's not working.
Shooting landscape on the 19, you can't even get the whole scale of it all. So I ended up shooting portrait, which I think works really well for that specific shot. I'm really liking the wide angle for this, but I'll jump on the 50 as well, I think, and try some tighter shots of the water and everything like that. You can really feel the power of the ocean just smashing into the cliff. That's partly why I chose Portra 800, because I feel like the faster shutter speed and a little bit more grain will help to give the shot some energy. I'm just going to keep shooting and see what we get.
I live in a city, as do probably most people watching this. With all the convenience of modern life, it's easy to exist without spending much time in nature. But I think the Maori are onto something with the idea that we have a connection to the land we come from. Oceans, cliffs, forgotten settlements. We're all just here together to watch the sun go down. It might not be a very controversial statement to say that New Zealand is a beautiful country, but what I want to highlight is just how many ways that beauty can present itself. It's not just mountains and lakes, and you don't even have to go far from the city to find something magical. This country has so much variety, and it's just asking you to stop and look.